Hello guys, welcome to week 14. Excited, excited about the opportunity that I put in place for you guys this week. Huge opportunity for a learning curve for you, and more importantly, a huge opportunity for you to hopefully feel a reward and make a connection with an individual and feel the reward that makes you feel good inside, that makes it, how should I phrase this, makes it worthwhile for what you do. As a speech language pathologist, some of the best opportunities you get is to actually have the feeling that you are helping someone. And you guys are going to get the same opportunities as a speech language pathology assistant to feel the joy, to feel the goodness inside when you know that what you are doing is making someone's life better. It's what keeps me coming back as a speech language pathologist, especially in the nursing home setting. For me personally, it's extra hours after school that keeps me away from my family, but that rewarding feeling that you get from knowing that you're helping someone improve the quality of their life, helping their life be more comfortable. It's addicting, probably isn't the right word, but it just feels really, really good to know that you're helping someone that needs it and that you are the person that can help them. You know, person's got communicative disorders, speech language pathology assistant, they're the people that can help them. Doctors can't prescribe medicine in general to make a communicative disorder go away. Occupational physical therapy, they can't help with that. Speech pathology, speech language pathology assistant, they're the people that help. So this week, I'm going to introduce you to a guy. His name is David. David resides in New York Mills now, currently. He used to live in Alaska. His family in general is from the New York Mills area. Last February, David had a stroke, a very localized, focal stroke. Happened out in Alaska. All of his family lives in the New York Mills area. So he moved back to the New York Mills area after his stroke. I was introduced to him at the Elders Home in New York Mills. He was on my caseload for about a month and a half. And one of the sad truths, sad facts is therapies are expensive and insurances will only pay for X number of sessions, and then that's it, unless people are going to pay out of their pocket for services. They just can't afford to go get that therapeutic service that they might need. And David's the prime example where he was getting OT, PT, and speech, and he got those services while he was in inpatient at the hospital. By the time he moved to an outpatient setting, he burned through his allotted time for therapies, and he was pretty much out. He didn't necessarily, I'd be careful how I phrase this, but in rural Minnesota, there's not a lot of opportunities for a 65-year-old person that's had a stroke to go get consistent speech services specifically. So back to it. David he received all his therapeutic services that he was entitled to. He had made lots of gains with me. I was seeing him every day for about just a month and a half, 2 months. I don't remember the exact time frame, but he's a big part of my life. Then anytime that you're spending 45 minutes to an hour with a person every night of your life rather than with your family, they're obviously become a big part of your life. And David, every time I'd give him therapy to do on his own worksheets, drill and practice stuff to do in front of the mirror, he would do it. The guy is very, very motivated to improve his communication skills. And I was always just so happy because I'd come back after, let's say, a Friday, come back on Monday, and he'd complete 10 worksheets of information that I'd give him. And he would do his best. It wasn't always perfect, but he would do his best. David moves to Alaska to go back to his house where he had been living for the past, I think, 20 years of his life. He lays carpet. Okay, that's what he did for his career, is he was a carpet layer. And so David moves back to Alaska and finds out that he just doesn't have the skill sets to manage his life independently anymore. So the guy folds his cards in Alaska and comes back to New York Mills and has been living in an apartment by himself in New York Mills, but family is willing to help him and does help him. I'd been meaning to introduce you guys to David a little bit earlier on in class, but a couple different things occur that don't allow this interaction to happen until last Tuesday. So I think that was like the 25th of November, where I was able to hook up with him, and the guy's regressed quite a bit from my last recall of interaction with him. So this week, you guys are going to watch two videos. One is an interaction that I have with David, and one is interaction, and it was Jamie's Apraxic Man video that she'd put together. Jamie did a really nice job with it. Good job, Jamie. But it was the one that I came up with first, and I videotaped David interacting with the video. The reason why I'm kind of sticking to these pre-recorded videos is kind of twofold. Number one is I can't assign patients to you guys to work with. They're not, people probably are lurking around every corner that would just chomp at the bit to have interaction with the skilled person like you guys have. But HIPAA codes don't necessarily allow that. But the second reason is an important component of interacting with adults with communicative disorders is being able to keep your mouth quiet long enough to invite people into conversation that have communicative disorders. It's easy for a David, for instance, to just sit passively and shake his head a lot because he knows that if he's going to try to talk, it's going to be hard. And in general, it's easier for him just to be quiet and listen. So with these pre-recorded lessons, an important dynamic that you guys probably weren't aware of it, but you're getting a lot of practice at wait time. Wait time is incredibly, incredibly important to have in any interaction, whether it's with a little kid or an adult. Keeping your mouth quiet long enough to create that almost uncomfortable silence is really dynamic in creating good therapeutic sessions, because it's easy just to know that, hey, David's going to have a hard time talking, so I'm just going to fill the silence with my voice. It might bring him comfort, but it's not going to necessarily make him better with what, it's not going to improve his communication skills. So these pre-recorded lessons are really, really powerful on having you focus on being quiet, having highly structured, specifically targeted things that you're doing that you can provide the stimulus, knowing that your stimulus is good, it's going to be worthwhile giving the stimulus and waiting for a response. In my opinion, that makes therapy dynamic. That's part of the reason that I'm a big fan of the pre-recorded stuff, is forcing you to be quiet. But if you're going to be quiet, you don't want to waste your time, so have really, really good targets with good material to make your silence worthwhile. Because ultimately, when you get into the real profession, you every minute you spend with them, the people are paying for it. So you want to make what you're giving them as high quality as you can. Yeah. So I'm going to be writing out. We're going to do this week a little bit differently than the past. This week I'm actually going to be the speech language pathologist. I'm going to write goals, or a goal. I'm going to write a few objectives, and your guys' job is going to be to create therapy for David to use. And we're going to follow David through for the next couple weeks. My intention is to go train him on how to use his iPad, which the family recently acquired for him. He's got wireless internet at his house. He doesn't know how to use YouTube right now, but my intention is to soak the time that I have been taking in preparing week lessons for you guys, like the PowerPoints and the videos and the YouTube videos, and the hours that I've spent preparing the weekly lessons for you guys. My intention is to spend that time with David so he knows how to use the videos that you guys are preparing. And he's a lucky guy in the fact that he's going to be receiving these videos from you guys because, well, you guys are doing such an amazing job with these pre-recorded videos, and your targets, your therapies that you guys are putting together are amazing. And I'm not just saying that to try to make you feel good either. What you guys are putting together has exceeded my expectations, and it's made me hungry as a SLP to know that there's going to be people like you coming out to support me. Yeah, it's really motivating for me. So yeah, my little girl woke up from her nap. I can hear her. Maybe you guys can hear her in the background calling. So I'm going to have to wrap this up, but I'm going to type up the goals and objectives for David. Do your best to create the best therapy that you think you can possibly put together. Spend some time on it because this guy is going to do what you guys put together. We did the same thing. We did the same activity with Celia, but the fact of the matter is Celia's been watching some of these videos according to her son, but the fact of the matter is Celia's an 80 plus year old woman that's 2.5 years past her incident, and she has a reoccurring seizure disorder that kind of fades her back every time she has a seizure. So what we did for Celia was good, and I felt very, very happy inside that we were able to offer the service to Celia because it was the right thing to do. But ultimately, what we know about neuroplasticity suggests that Celia might get better, but the time for her spontaneous, rapid improvement has passed. Celia might get a little bit better, and if she consistently watches the videos that you guys put together, and I'm talking like she does it 3-4 times a day, and makes it a big commitment, part of her life, she's probably going to see some gains. So it's the right thing to do with Celia. But now we look at David, and the guy's, I think he's like 66. I don't know off the top of my head, but he's a relatively young guy, and he is so hungry to get better. And he will use what you guys are going to put together for him, and you have the opportunity to improve this man's communication by your efforts that you put in, and that in itself should be motivating. That's why I'm assuming you chose to be in a helping profession. That's what drove me to the field, is I wanted to help people get better. I wanted to improve quality of life for people. And David presents a prime opportunity for you guys to get a little flavor of, boy, because you're going to watch this video and you're probably going to feel sad for David. I'm going to guess that you're going to get done watching the first video and you're going to say, poor guy, man, that's got to be hard, or something to that effect. But what I need to do is internalize that with motivation, as far as I'm going to push myself a little bit harder this week to put together the best session that I can. And with that being said, so there's 12 of you, and all 12 of you bust your butt and you work really hard. You think outside of the box. You think super creatively and super targeted, and all 12 of you put together really good therapy. The unique opportunity lies in the fact that you, in theory, will have 12 really well-rounded, targeted therapy sessions that you could use moving forward. Maybe you really liked one thing that one of the students did, one of your classmates did. You didn't really care for another part of the session that she did, but that one activity, I never thought of that, and that was a really good opportunity, and build off each other's ideas. This is going to be the second, third opportunity for you to see what other people are thinking, how other people are working their sessions, and take those ideas and make them your own. And that's an opportunity that you guys have in this class, that once you get out into a regular workplace, you don't necessarily get. I mean, I'm the only speech language pathologist at the Verndale School, and I'm the only speech language pathologist at the nursing home setting, so it's not like I'm filled with opportunities to watch other people on how they're doing therapy and saying, oh, that's a good idea, I'm going to take that. I've done that with you guys. I've taken some of your ideas already that you guys have generated and folded it into what I'm doing, and I thank you for that. But it's the opportunity that exists that you guys just got to understand that. View the videos that other people are putting together and see what you like about what they're doing and take it and put it into your own. Because what you're going to find out is when you're dealing with adults, a lot of times you don't have to have a zillion different therapy ideas and different games for them to play. You just have to have activities that are functional and targeting independence. Targeting functionality independence is what your goal is when you're working with adults. And there's some really, really good, unique, creative ideas floating around out there within the 12 of you that you guys need to take the time, see what other people are thinking, and take the time to challenge yourself into thinking outside of the box, thinking creatively, and what is going to be the best way to engage David in a functional, independent manner. So, yeah, I'm excited about this opportunity. I hope that you guys feel my excitement and really dig in deep for week 14 here and challenge yourself. This is what the assignment's going to be for the week. Now, there's one other little part that I was going to mention that deals with the perceptual listening. That was the common theme through what you want from class moving forward, and I know I touched on it in last week's intro video. I'm thinking that I'm going to put one assignment out there for you guys to find a video of a person with a communication disorder just for more perceptual listening. I checked my resources, my different textbooks that I had in grad school, and there's nothing that I have extra in regards to perceptual listening besides the resources that were from this text. Other things were from my voice disorders. It's CD-ROM, it's copyrighted, and it's not something that I can necessarily just put online for you guys to view without risking liabilities of copyright things for myself. So I don't have a zillion things for perceptual listening, unfortunately, but yeah, that's it. I think I'm excited to see what you guys are able to put together for this week. I hope you enjoy the opportunity. As always, if I'm not clear, if you guys have questions, just send me an email and I will do my best to get back to you in a timely fashion. Keep up the good work. You guys should be feeling really, really good about what you've done in class so far. Feel really, really good about what we've put together over the past 13 weeks as we head towards the finish line. So yeah, I hope everybody has a good week, and I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We will see you at week 15.